DuckTalks is part of Res TV's network of podcasts. Check out res.tv for other great podcasts. It's the week of Monday, January 21st, and you're listening to episode 55 of DuckTalks. Hey there, and welcome to a brand new episode of DuckTalks. Our very first episode for 2019. Man, where did 2018 go?
I don't know. It went so fast.
I mean, we've been talking about a show that we reference as DuckTales 2017. And it's not even 2017 anymore. It's 2019. I've honestly just been calling it DuckTales because it's reached that point for me. I love, there will always be a nostalgia factor for the old DuckTales, for the OG DuckTales, for 1987 DuckTales. But it's going to have to be the one that has the differentiation because DuckTales is the new DuckTales. I've lost Josh.
I'm still here. Sorry.
You're not going to agree with me, are you?
No, I totally agree. I actually think of it as just DuckTales now, not 2017. It doesn't even really have 2017 in its title. It's just so weird though, because you think, okay, it started 2 years ago, and we're just barely into season 2. And I think the big issue is that it started at the end of 2017, and so that's why it's kind of flown by for us. But with 2019 here, I think this is going to be a good year. We've got more DuckTales coming up for season 2, and we have word for season 3 has been scheduled. So I think this is going to be a good year for everything.
And we can't wait to follow every minute of it. This being our first episode of 2019, I think we forgot our format, but that's okay because we're going to change it up a lot this year. But before we get started, for all of those listening to this podcast for the first time, I'm one of your hosts. My name's Mitch.
And this is Josh.
This podcast is all about DuckTales, if you can't tell, but we also talk about other things, Disney Afternoon and Disney Duck related. But that seems to be the theme for the most part, except for some bonus episodes that we do every now and then. It's actually the last thing we did since December. We took quite a break this year, spending time with family, maybe dealing with some teeth issues that we won't get into. But man, Josh, we were talking about it as we were getting ready. It's been a while since we've had an opportunity to sit down and talk.
Yeah, I feel like I hardly heard from anybody the last few weeks, and it makes me sad. I'm ready to kind of get talking again about DuckTales. It's great to have some commonality in our conversation about things that we love to bring us together and excite us, you know?
Yeah, and it's been a while since there's been any news at all about the show. You know, we have those moments where there's just all this excitement about new news, and you know, our chat starts lighting up, and Discord starts lighting up with news, and Twitter's ablaze, and it's just a lot of fun. But we've not had that recently because the show is on a break right now. There is I'm still calling it a mini hiatus, but we're not exactly sure what the hiatus for 2019. I'm still having trouble saying it. We still don't know how long it's going to be. There are some rumors out there that this hiatus will go beyond February. We don't know when new episodes will emerge. There is a source that has shared that it is not on the Disney Channel's books for February, and it looks legit. Just from someone who's looked at the highlights and the stuff that Disney puts out, it looks like good information, but Disney hasn't actually shared the information. So I'm kind of hoping they haven't shared it because it might change. Maybe at the last minute they're going to add DuckTales halfway through February, and then they'll put out those highlights.
Well, it seems like some of the other shows are already starting to kind of ramp up and go again. So I don't see why they would want to wait for that, because I mean the new Star Wars shows started up again, and some of the other ones have started up recently too, right?
Yeah, I think Big Hero 6 just announced when they're getting new episodes, or maybe they just started. I've got to catch up on that show. I really enjoyed it. And Tangled is starting back up in February. Mm-hmm. I think that's the issue. It's not an issue, but I think the way the Disney Channel likes to roll out their shows and, promo them and push them, I think they do it one at a time. And so I think, like, right now they just had a live action show. I don't really know what to call those. They're not really sitcoms, but you know what I'm saying, with actual actors, not voice actors, actual actors. Obviously, I mean no disrespect to voice actors, because I love voice actors, but with people on screen being filmed instead of voices being recorded. They just released a show that's, I think, just come out or is coming out this month or something like that. So that's been their big push. Then in February, it looks like Tangled will be the big push. And Big Hero 6 is also in there somewhere. I could see it being the end of February or March before we get DuckTales. I hope it's then. But, they really loved having DuckTales over the summer. That's one of my biggest fears.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm going to keep it a mini hiatus. I think it's going to get updated to a medium hiatus pretty soon if we don't hear anything.
Oh, maybe. But we'd gone too long without a regular episode of DuckTales. So we wanted to get together, just kind of chat on the mic, get a feel for things for 2019, see what it's going to be like. And there's a few items that have come out in recent days that we can talk about that are duck related. So we thought we would do that. And as soon as there's news, we'll be on top of it at DuckTalks.com and also on Twitter at DuckTalks. So you can go there for the latest news. We're dedicated to being on top of it for 2019. I think we did a real good job in 2018. We waited until things slowed down to take a little bit of a break, and we've had a little bit of a breather, and we're ready to come back. Mm-hmm. First item. Let's start with kind of the biggest news of the day, because there's a few things for us to talk about here, but biggest news of the day, I think, is going to be Disney Heroes Battle Mode. I think that's the name of the game. So this is a mobile game that you can play on your smartphone, and you may also be able to play it on your computer on Google. I think I saw someone say you could do that, but I don't know. You'll have to check that out. But I've been playing this game for a while. It came out almost a year ago, I believe. I believe it's a year in February. And when it came out, there were like 20 characters that you could play, and it's various Disney characters. It's an RPG style game. I'm not overly familiar with RPGs. I've not played them a lot other than mobile gaming. I played Avengers Academy for a long time. I had a hate-love relationship with that game, and I do mean to say it in that order because I hated that I loved it. But I played it, and it just recently got canceled. I think February is when they're pulling the server, which is so horrible because I've not played all the way through it. I'd love to finish it, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to get a chance to. Anyway, Disney Heroes is kind of like that. You build a team, you collect characters, and as you collect the characters, you level them up and gain extra powers and abilities in life. And you go through, and there are missions and campaigns and arenas and all kinds of different options of how to play. This is one of those games that I've never gotten to the point where I didn't have something I could do. Most mobile games, you play it for a little while, and then you run out of lives or turns or whatever, and then you have to wait a little while to play again. This game doesn't work that way. At least not for me. Maybe I just haven't gotten far enough, but I could sit and play it forever, and it seems like there's always something to do. It's not always really interesting, and that was why I kind of put it down for a while. I had other games take over. Have you played it, Josh?
No, actually, I hadn't really heard of it before, and I was just kind of like looking at the description of it in the iTunes store, and kind of reading how I was describing it as as an RPG, and it kind of looks like almost like the old turn-based battling between two different sides, with like your characters versus just like random mobs that you run into. So it looks interesting. I may check it out this week. Do you happen to know if it's just like is Darkwing going to be behind like a paywall, or is it going to be something where you can earn over time?
So that's a great question, because these style games are notorious for things like that. So with this game, you gain characters in various ways. The main way that you can get a character quickly are in the diamond chest. I don't think they're chests. They're diamond crates. They're crates. And so every few hours you earn a diamond crate, and it's many hours. It's not just a few, but over time you earn one. And when you open it, it might be a new character. It might be a new power or a add-on to level up your characters. Diamond crates are better than bronze crates, so it is a more premium item, but it's not the most premium. There are actually levels above it. So that's one way. He is in diamond crates, so you could get him at random. Now, I don't know if it's enough tokens to actually have him, because you have to build up so many tokens before you can unlock him. You can also, I have been told, there's something, Alex in our Discord chat was telling me earlier today that the black market, and I'm telling you, this game's huge when you get to looking at it. I almost would like to start all over just because I've forgotten how to play it. But there's a black market that allows you to buy things. They like just spring up for a short period of time, or it's random. And apparently Darkwing Duck's tokens have shown up on the black market, so you can get them that way as well. Okay. Now, as far as the diamond crates go, you can not only do you get them hourly, but you can also build up diamonds over time, like individual diamonds. Since I started playing it again, I've been playing it a few days now, ever since we first heard on Twitter that the patch notes were released and he was listed in there. I've been playing it, trying to figure out how I could get him. And I can't figure out how to earn diamonds. I know there's a way to do it because I had 900 of them. No. So I know that I had saved up, I'd saved up a bunch of diamonds, but I can't figure out how I got them. Everything I check, I don't see that there are diamonds to be won. So if anyone knows, and I'm going to keep looking it up, but if anyone hears this, go ahead and tweet at me at Infinirama616 on Twitter or at DuckTalks, and let me know, how do you get those diamonds?
Maybe it was easier when you were doing it originally.
Maybe, but I say I had 800. It was like it was close to 900. Here's the issue. It takes almost 300 to purchase a diamond crate. So I only had 2, and I'm like 4 diamonds away from being able to open a third diamond crate. So, and then of course, like any mobile game, you can purchase diamonds. And they're not overly expensive. I think it was like $5 for a few hundred. I say not overly expensive. That is expensive because you're probably only going to get 5 tokens and you need 80 to unlock him or something like that. This is all me just throwing out this information. I don't know. I'd have to look. But it is, honestly, when I first played it, the game is fun. I had a lot of fun when I started playing it. It includes the campaign, the story mode that starts. You're playing with invincible characters from the Invincibles, and then it also throws in Wreck-It Ralph. And so you have these characters to play with. I think everyone pretty much starts with those characters.
You said Invincibles, and you mean Incredibles?
Oh, Incredibles. Did I say Invincibles?
Yeah.
The Invincibles. I'm thinking of the old Image comic. Man, I haven't read that in years. Anyway, I'm trying to look it up and talk at the same time, and it's ridiculous. I shouldn't try to do that.
We started a guild in the game as well.
I did. I did that today, and there was a lot of confusion with people on Twitter because at one point we thought maybe it was platform related. Maybe you had to be on iOS because we use iOS in order to be in our guild because people couldn't find it. Well, then people on iOS couldn't find it. And I did some searching on my lunch break and found that it's based on servers. So there's like 12 servers for this game. And I think when you first sign up, you're randomly assigned a server because I don't remember picking a server. Then again, if I picked a server the first time I played a game, I probably wouldn't have known what to pick or thought about it. So we're on server 2. If you download the game to play for the first time and you get the option to pick your server, choose server number 2 if you want to play with us. And if not, if you don't get the option, what you can do, and we put a blog on DuckTalks about this, on the bottom left-hand corner when you're on the home screen, there is an avatar with your name. If you'll touch your avatar, you'll see under options, accounts. If you go to accounts, you can do new account, and when you set up a new account, it's going to delete your old one. So if you've been playing for a while, you can't do this without losing your stuff. There's other great guilds out there, I'm sure. I don't blame you for not switching. But if you do that and start a new one, it allows you to pick your server, and you can pick server 2 and then go to guilds when you get to level 15, because you do have to level up to 15. The game slowly unlocks stuff so that it can introduce you to it. When you get to level 15, you can go to guilds, go into guilds, search for DuckTalks. Currently, I'm the only member. Though 3 people have told me they were going to do it. So, and that means you haven't done it either.
No, yeah, I'm going to download it this week, and I'm going to try and get it in.
Yeah, so the game is fun. Yeah, so that was my New Year's resolution, was no more yes so. So I'm going to edit that out. And I guess I'll leave it now so that you guys know it's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to make a shirt that says yes so and then mark it out. I'll buy that and wear it. The game's a lot of fun. We're going to be playing it. We're going to try to get Darkwing. Of course, we're hoping there's more Disney Afternoon to come. If Darkwing's very popular, I'm sure that would happen. I could see Baloo, Scrooge McDuck with his, pogo cane being in this game. Be a lot of fun. It's got a really cool style. It reminds me of Disney Infinity concept of bringing all the franchises together. And that's what initially drew me to it. There are some issues with the arena, which is where you play against other players. And obviously, if people are paying money, they're more advanced than you, and you're going to get killed in the arena. So I don't even go there. We also had some news on the website. I believe Pirate first posted this last week. Dark Horse Comics. Now, everyone knows that IDW has been putting out Disney comics for the last few years, at least since 2017. People maybe don't realize that Dark Horse also has a license for Disney Comics. They've been putting out the Frozen comic, which Joe Caramagna has been writing, but I think that's by Dark Horse. I know Dark Horse is doing a Frozen comic. I don't know if it's the same one Joe does, now that I think about it. We don't know what we're talking about in 2019.
I was thinking, for some reason I was thinking IDW, but he could be right.
Well, it's just odd that, one, Disney, who owns Marvel Comics, puts out comics through other publishers, especially that they would put Frozen with Dark Horse. Yeah, Dark Horse has Frozen. Breaking Boundaries is the name of the first, and I think that's the one that Joe was working on. Now, Joe is one of the writers. Yeah, Joe Caramagna. Joe is one of the writers of DuckTales monthly comic. So, but anyway, Dark Horse Comics has a Disney license as well. They're putting out comics, and they've been putting out these. I don't know if there's a series name for this or what, but it came on our radar a while back with the release of Moby Dick, starring Scrooge and Donald Duck.
They're kind of doing the kind of classic stories. There's a whole. I don't know if it's a series together or what, but they're doing the classic stories. So there's the Frankenstein, there's a Treasure Island, Moby Dick, a Don Quixote, a Hamlet, and a Dracula. And so they're using the Disney characters to tell these classic stories. And a few of them are starring Donald Duck and Scrooge. So we have the Frankenstein that is got Donald Duck. Moby Dick has Scrooge and Donald Duck. Hamlet has Donald Duck. It looks like there's Scrooge in the background.
Yeah.
Treasure Island also is supposed to include Donald Duck, but it's mainly starring Mickey.
Mm-hmm. And Pete.
And then the Don Quixote looks like it's Goofy and Mickey.
Yeah, these look great. They're graphic novels. I think they retail around $10, like $9.99. I know the digitals, and we put out a blog in the past weeks that include links to Amazon because we're an Amazon affiliate, so you can support the podcast and website by purchasing these through the links that we provide at no additional cost to you. But plug, we need help. But or your support. We don't need help. We appreciate your support. And there are people, it's really cool. Side conversation, sorry. There's people that contact us and let us know that, they're looking for something on Amazon that we talked about and wanted to know where our link is. So that's cool. We love that people are interested in supporting us that way. That's why we like the program. We don't have to ask you for money. We just tell you, hey, if you're going to buy something, use our link. But he's got a great blog about these, and there's links to order each and every one of them. And they're graphic novels, and the art is fantastic. I was just speaking with, same conversation, I was speaking with Alex in our Discord, which you can reach at res.tv's Discord. She just finished Moby Dick, and she said it was great. She really enjoyed it. The art is the Italian artist style, which is one of my favorites after reading a lot of the stuff IDW has been putting out. She's planning on doing a review in the Discord, and we're going to try to plan that in the coming days, or this week or next week. But yeah, she said it was really good. She gave it 5 stars, and I'm looking forward to reading it. You can, what I was saying about Amazon, you can order these from Amazon. The digitals for Amazon Kindle or Comixology are like $5.99 and $6.99. So if you're the type of person who likes to read digitally, you could buy a couple of them for just a couple of dollars more than you could buy one physical copy.
And some of these they look like they're spreading out the releases of these. Some of them are going to be released later in the year, this year, and some of them are starting to come out already.
Yeah, so Treasure Planet, that was a great movie. I don't care what anybody says. Treasure Island has already been released. Moby Dick is, and that should be Moby Duck. Come on, right? I mean, yeah. That's what I want to say every time I see the beautiful cover. But those are already released. Don Quixote is on pre-order. Looks like that's in March.
March 19th, yeah.
And then May for Hamlet. Mm-hmm. And Dracula, which is a cool cover. I can't figure out who Dracula actually is.
Yeah, I can't either.
It's a dog man. But that one is in August. And then Frankenstein doesn't have a date yet. Or at least when we... No, wait. Frankenstein is August.
Dracula was at July 30th. Frankenstein is due August 13th.
That's right. You got this.
Yep.
But those are great. We plan on trying to get a hold of some and reviewing them in the coming weeks. With everything else going on, we just haven't been able to get to it yet. We'd love to hear what you think about it. If you've read these, drop us a line. Let us know what you thought. And you can do that, on Twitter or on the website. So we had some fun controversy over the holidays. Or I guess it was right after the holidays. I was at work and noticed that I can't remember if it was me or Pirate. I think Pirate found it first. I think I remember seeing it early in the morning and it didn't click. Like, hey, I'm trying to run a duck site. Something like this would be important to look into. But he messaged me and said, hey, I think Daisy's 82nd birthday is today. And I was like, I don't think that's right. I've got Daisy's, and I call it anniversary. I've got Daisy's anniversary in my calendar because I've done that. I've got all the characters' anniversaries in my calendar, and I would have had a reminder, so I kind of ignored it. So we looked at it, and I was like, oh, it was actually Donna Duck who debuted January 9th, not Daisy Duck. And he was like, well, who's Donna Duck? So we spent a good chunk of that day looking up Donna Duck and Daisy Duck and trying to figure out, is this anniversary legit or not?
I think we determined that Donna Duck became Daisy Duck.
Yeah, so Donna's a proto-Daisy, and it boiled down to, and we had some great conversation with some friends on Twitter who are much better Duckstorians than we are at this point. But yeah, we reached out to some people and asked them for input, and had some great responses. It boils down to, in Don Donald, this was Donald Duck's very first solo theatrical animation. So this is his first cartoon, or he was in cartoons before, but this is the first time that the cartoon was about. It's part of a series, and this is the first of that series. And in that, you get Donna Duck. It's a character that he's going to meet. He's trying to impress. Donald's not good at impressing women, so he makes her upset. And it's a great cartoon. It's one of my all-time favorites. I'm a Donald fan, so of course it is. But Donna Duck, her name's Donna. There, you can clearly see when he enters her home, there's a sign that says that it's Donna Duck's home. And then when I always thought Daisy's anniversary was the short Mr. Duck Steps Out, which was actually written by Carl Barks. And I mean, if we're going to give credit to a Duck's origin, we're going to give that credit to Carl Barks, right? He created Daisy, and that was June 7th of 1940. However, Daisy was modeled after Donna Duck. That's what it boils down to. When Carl Barks wrote it and he was designing the character, they ended up referencing Donna Duck. She looked different originally in Carl Barks' very first drawings, but they ended up changing her to resemble Donna, and Donna Duck became the proto-Daisy. Now, there's actually precedent with that with other characters, in that when Goofy first showed up, he was Dippy Dog, and he was in the Mickey Mouse short Mickey's Review. And you can see he's more scraggly, he's got glasses, he's older. Mm-hmm. And so it is, nobody questions whether that was the first appearance of Goofy. His next appearance, they changed him a little bit, made him younger, and gave him the name. But that is known as his first appearance. And then Pluto first appeared in a Mickey Mickey cartoon called Chain Gang, and he doesn't have a name at all. He's not Mickey's dog. He's actually chasing Mickey, who's a convict who's escaped from prison. Cartoons are weird, but he was later added to another cartoon called The Picnic, where he's Minnie's pet, and his name is Rover. But both of those appearances are considered Pluto appearances because that was the evolution of the character. Mm-hmm. So it is factual per the studios that Donna was Daisy, just a different name. And kind of as proof of that is there was a pin release. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say exactly. We even found a pin that
official pin
that was released in the Disney parks in '99 that says on it, Daisy Duck debuts as Donna Duck in 1937.
Yep. And
it was part of the Countdown to the Millennium collection.
Yep. Now, to kind of muddy the waters, the reason why a lot of people, like me, originally, because I fess up, Donna is Daisy. It's the same character. Different name, same character. The reason why some people still argue that that's not the case is at some point in some comics, and when I say comics, it was actually newspaper comics, they added Donna back to the story as Donald's old girlfriend, and she was competing with Daisy for Donald's affections. And then she showed up in other comics. I don't know if it's like comic books, but there have been several stories that include Donna. So some people say, no, they kind of retcon that. The only problem is the way the Disney comic licensing works. Is it official? I mean, when you think about Carl Barks and Don Rose's Scrooge McDuck, who I would say is the same character in the same universe, but then you start looking at Uncle Scrooge from DuckTales, obviously Don Rosa would tell you that's not his Scrooge. Not that he doesn't like that Scrooge, but it's not his Scrooge. And then when you start looking at, all the other comics that have come out, the Scrooge Scrooge comics have been published, except for during wartime, nonstop since the 40s. So when we talk about a cartoon and a comic, I'm going to say that the cartoon in this instance is going to take the precedent because it was the first appearance, and even though there have been stories that have changed it, I don't think that's the studio's point of view, but it got kind of crazy when we were talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, hopefully that's then her birthday, and we can say happy birthday to Daisy. What did you have on your calendar for Daisy?
I had the date when Mr. Duck steps out, which, and I've got it right here. Let me pull it up. I should know. I shouldn't know that date, right? January 9th of 30. No. January 9th of 37 is Donna. June 7th of 1940 is the short Mr. Duck Steps Out. So, I mean, several years later was when Daisy. But Daisy was built off of Donna. You can check out that blog at DuckTalks.com. It was a lot of fun to write. We did a lot of research in one day trying to figure out. We tried to solve a mystery. It was fun. And I really enjoyed the discussion because we had some people who were adamant, no, Donna is a separate character. And I absolutely agree with them. She has and has not been a separate character. She's also Daisy. It's fun. It's muddied water. We've got a topic that we want to talk about. We're probably going to give more time on the podcast in the future when we can get more information about it. But during our break, there was the revelation that there was a Darkwing Duck video game, not planned, but a game that was there was a demo created for the game. There was a concept, there was an idea, and the idea was pitched to Capcom, and someone at Capcom showed interest in the game, and information was exchanged, and a company called Headcanon started work on this demo, and they reached out to Aaron Sparrow and James Silvani to help them with the story and concept and character design for this game. It was supposed to be a spiritual sequel to the original NES game. But unfortunately, Capcom never really showed any interest after that initial interaction, and it never happened, except for the demo that was sent to Capcom, which Headcanon released online. We've got a link at DuckTalks that you can use to play the first level of the game. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. Have you?
No, but I've watched the demo of it, and it does have a lot of of the feel of the original NES game. It's a classic side scroller, like the original NES game, but the feel and look of it does remind me of how the other one feels when Darkwing Duck falls down into an area and swings across things, and it looks amazing. I wish there were a bit more of it to demo and play. I haven't tried the demo of it yet, but I have watched that initial playthrough.
Yeah, it's available on all computer systems, so you can play it on Windows, Linux, or Mac. It does. It looks great. It reminds me a lot. I had a Batman, I think it was Batman 2. I think it was a sequel. But I had a Batman video game on my Game Boy that it reminds me because of the swinging, because you can use the grapple gun to swing in the demo, and which it looks to be an important part of the game, an important part of the mechanics. And there's Eggmen running around of different sizes. It looks great. Highly disappointed. That news broke the same day we found out about some of the information on Disney Infinity 4.0. So it's just a bummer day for Disney games, game fans. But we are reaching out. We've got some things planned to talk about the game a little bit more, to maybe get a little more inside information. We may even try to reach out to Simon. Simon, I believe his name's Thomley, was the gentleman who was developing it. He's the head at Headcanon. He's the person in charge at Headcanon, I believe. And yeah, it looks great. would love. I look forward to playing the demo. My computer has completely been taken over by DuckTalks. I got to make some room on the hard drive before I could put a game on here.
Do we know that if it was just released like not too long after they heard the no from Capcom, or they waited some time and they're like, oh, what the heck, let's just release it?
Yeah, great question. So they never had a response from Capcom. That I know of. I could be wrong on that point. My understanding is there was at a convention, an electronics convention, there was someone from Capcom who was very interested in the idea and exchanged their information with Simon. And Simon reached out to them and they recommended a demo. And so he got to work on the demo. He reached out to them to give them a progress report and the person didn't answer. Over time, he reached back out to someone else at Capcom, and they let him know that the person he spoke with was no longer with the company. I believe that's what happened, and no one else at Capcom ever showed interest in it. He did send the demo over, and he never heard anything from them. So after time passed, and we don't know how much time, I would imagine the Darkwing Duck comic was still in publication at the time this happened. Or, it might have been even in between, because you had, Joe Books republished. They published the Definitively Dangerous Edition, which is a collection of the first 4 stories over at Boom Studios. So Aaron and James have been working on Darkwing for a number of years now. So it could have been any time during that time that they were working on it. Headcanon put it out there as more of a portfolio. And since they were putting it out there, Simon decided to make it downloadable for people to play. Since he had built it, he was like, I can't make any money off of this because I don't have a license. But I can put it out there as fan content and people can enjoy what we did work on. And I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's really cool.
Don't know how long it'll be available. I've not heard anything about it being limited or, just depends on how much server space they have, I guess. But if you're interested in it, it's probably worth going on to downloading it. I don't know the address of where it's at, but you can go to DuckTalks and look for the Darkwing image, and you'll see that we almost had a Darkwing video game. And there is a link in that blog that will take you to the download.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're about to wrap this thing up. Before we do, we have a great deal for people who are interested in buying merchandise for Kingdom Hearts 3. We've been following Kingdom Hearts 3 over the last few months. We're very, very close at this point. Will it be out next week?
You mean this deal or the game?
The game.
Oh.
Isn't it February? I think it is.
Let me see real quick. We're gonna.
Well, while Josh is looking.
Oh yeah, so the release date is set to be January 29th.
There we go. So yeah, it's happening soon, supposedly, and but this week, and I think this is kind of build up to the release of that game. Best Buy has the amazing figures put out by Diamond Select for Kingdom Hearts. Marked down 50% off, and you can order that online or in store. We did a blog that included a link to the sale, so you can get to the page that shows everything that they have on sale for Diamond Select. I think it even includes some things that aren't on sale, but it's a search for Diamond Select, just trying to help you out. But you can get there from our site. We've also done a number of reviews. Pirate has been playing with these action figures for hours so that he could provide you with some detailed reviews. And they're excellent figures. You can read his thoughts. He's a collector, so he's going to tell you what he thinks about these, and he really enjoys them.
Yeah, they're normally $19.99, and they're $10 off right now, so you can get them at $9.99. So it's a good time to just snatch them up.
And aren't those like 2-packs?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I believe that's the case. I'm just full of questions tonight.
It shows them in the pictures like 2 figures together, so I think it might be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of the packages, because he was sending me updates as they came in, Oh, you were in there too. He was sending us updates as he got them. And I'm pretty sure they were packaged together. There's like 2 figures per package. I'm trying to click on one to see what it says. This makes for great podcasting when it takes forever. And for some reason, it totally took me to something else on Best Buy. Diamond Select Toys, Kingdom Hearts, Best of Series action figure set. Styles may vary. So do you just like get random figures?
I don't know. It's so weird.
We've seen that with Target before. I'm going to add one to a cart and see what I get. No, I don't want a Rubik's Cube. It's not even on sale. Why would you offer me a Rubik's Cube that's not on sale? Diamond Select Toys, Kingdom Hearts, Best of Series action figure set. Styles may vary. So if you order it online, it looks like you're going to get random figures.
Yeah, that's weird.
I would recommend going to the store.
Make sure they have them in stock.
But when I look at them, it looks like... all right, so me and Josh don't play this game. Sora, that's the main character, right?
Yeah, and a little black...
Yeah, he comes with... No, those are called Darkness.
Darkness.
Yeah, and then there's Mickey and this white shark-looking Darkness, which makes no sense to me.
That's like super skinny looking and stretched.
Yeah, and it might have an upside-down heart that's turning into a throwing star on his head. If Jason's listening to this, he's screaming at us right now. But the one set that I would absolutely love to get my hands on is the Goofy and Donald, and it looks like they should come together. Mm-hmm. So if that was the one I received, I'd be extremely happy with that. If I got the other 2, they're cool too. I really do want to play this game, but I just don't know the story, so I can't speak to it. Yeah, from what I can tell, though, go to Best Buy. Don't order it online, because it looks like you're going to get a random figure. I can't believe somebody would do that. Do you remember Eric from one of our friends on Twitter, and he's written blogs for DuckTalks? Eric bought a whole bunch of the DuckTales stuff and got one of everything. Like, he had bought enough that he would get one of everything.
I thought he got like good. One dupe or something.
Did he?
I was thinking he got one dupe.
Maybe he did. I think that was the Pops. I think he ordered a bunch of Pops and got one dupe.
Yeah, he got really lucky. Maybe they just, whoever packed him was like, oh, I'll just give him one of everything.
Yeah, or they just said, oh, just send him this box. It's got that many in it. Mm-hmm. Which should have an assortment. So I think that was his plan. It worked out. Anyway, that's really it for news. Mostly merchandise stuff, video games, which is cool. We like video games. Mm-hmm. But hopefully we get some news about the show. We were kind of holding off on recording this episode, hoping that we were supposed to be last week, hoping that we would get confirmation for February that the show would not be back. We did not get that confirmation, so we'll keep it labeled as rumor for the time being and hope that it's not true. But in all honesty, it looks like it is. Josh, anything else? Anything to add?
No, I think that's it. I don't have anything else that I can think of that's going on.
All right. Well, glad to be back for 2019. Next week, we have something special planned. Not going to reveal it just yet because sometimes things change. Mm-hmm. We've got something fun planned, and we're looking forward to it. And as soon as we actually record it, I'll go ahead and announce it and let people know what's going on. But yeah, hopefully next week we have something fun going on, and we'll be back with episode 56. Thanks for checking out this episode of DuckTalks. We'd love it if you went ahead and subscribe to our podcast. You can do that at your favorite podcatcher. We're on iTunes. We're on Android. We're on Google Play. Is it called Google Play? Google Podcast, not Google Play. We're on Google Podcast. You can also stream us live at Res TV if you're not into downloading a podcast. But we've got options out there for you. So you can follow the link on our website to either subscribe or, put a favorites on your in your web browser so that you can listen to the latest episode. The advantage to subscribing is it lets you know when there's a new episode. Also, all of those platforms, however you listen to this episode, if you feel so inclined to give us a review, or a rating, that would be awesome, because that helps us reach more people and it allows people to see that we exist. It's funny whenever we get involved in a conversation that's getting a lot of attention and someone goes, wait a minute, there's a DuckTales podcast? I've got to check that out. I love that. I say it's funny because I love it. I can't tell you what it does to me. It gets me excited. So if you are one of those people and you're listening to this episode, thank you so much for listening. And to everyone, thank you so much for listening to me ramble, and Josh doing a very good professional podcast and waiting on me to finish. Check us out on Twitter at DuckTalks, website ducktalks.com. You can follow me individually at Infinirama616, and I think you can find Josh on Twitter.
Find me at CCRunner524.
That's going to do it for this week. Until next time.
Good night, guys. See you next time. Same duck time, same duck channel.
Stay glom golden.